Hello, everybody. This is Gerald Salenti, and it's August 21st, 2024. And once again, on these Wednesdays, we have with us a man who I admire so deeply because of his true human spirit, the spirit of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, something that's taken away from us. Judge Andrew Napolitano, and he lives by his words and his deeds. He says what he believes and tells people to do the same and not to be silenced because the government won't let you say what you want to say. Judge, thank you for being here.
Always a pleasure, Gerald. Thank you for having me on your show.
Oh, no, it's my pleasure. And, you know, you have this new article coming out, and it's coming out tomorrow. And again, everybody, please go to Judging Freedom. The people that Judge Napolitano has on his show, what they say, how they say it, there's nothing like it anywhere. And your new article is coming out, and again, it's about the right to be left alone. And it's so true. You write about this song. Every move you make, every vow you break, every smile you fake, every claim you stake, I'll be watching you. And that was Every Breath You Take, a song by the Police. And you go, the Fourth Amendment to the Constitution guarantees the right to privacy. Judge, how dare you say that? How dare you say that the Fourth Amendment gives us that right? I'm the politician in charge. You do what I tell you to do.
You sound like the people that run the algorithms at YouTube. How dare you say that the Azov battalion has Nazi influences, even though they have swastikas on their arms? Look, you have to stand up for what you believe in, and particularly when it's reduced to writing in the Constitution. And that's why I write these articles. I have a gift for understanding the Constitution, its meaning, its history, its interpretation, and ability to explain it so that those who didn't go to law school can understand how they're losing their liberties, not at the hands of judges who are inappropriately signing search warrants, but at the hands of FBI, CIA, NSA, DIA, BATF, DEA, all these 3- and 4-letter acronyms by which the government intelligence agencies go, who believe in seizing information first and worrying about the Fourth Amendment later. This is the culture in law enforcement today for the past generation. It began under Bush and Cheney right after November 11, when the culture was imbued into law enforcement. Just pretend what you're looking for is for national security purposes, and then you can easily seize what you want and pass it on to the FBI for law enforcement purposes. And this was a route around the Fourth Amendment. When the FBI showed up at the home of our friend Scott Ritter 2 weeks ago with 40 FBI agents and a SWAT team and a bomb squad looking for 3 electronic devices, and they took 2 truckloads of papers from him, they showed him huge loose leafs, which consisted of printed readouts of every email and every text he sent and received in the past 2 years, which they obtained without a warrant. That's the scary part here. That's what law enforcement does today. They have no respect whatsoever for the Fourth Amendment. The people we have hired to preserve the Constitution have literally been destroying it. That's why I write these columns.
You go, our rights to be alive, to think as we wish, to say what we think, to publish what we say, to worship or not, to associate or not, to assemble with others, to defend ourselves from crazies and tyrants, to travel, to our own property, and to be left alone are all hardwired into our human nature. Nature is the means through which God passes along his gifts to us. We come about by a biological act of nature. God's greatest gift to us is life, and he tied that gift to free will. Just as he is perfectly free, so are we. We're not free anymore.
Correct. We're not free anymore because government is the negation of freedom. And as government continues to grow, freedom continues to shrink.
Government is the negation of freedom.
Yes. That's where how and why government exists, by taking away our freedom to be ourselves. Look, some government is legitimate. If government is going to preserve and protect our natural rights, that's a function that we want the government to engage in. But it doesn't limit itself to that. It steals property, it crushes liberty, it starts wars, it kills innocents, it borrows money it can't and won't repay, and in the process takes away our freedom. Just had a friendly debate with a dear friend of mine who's a serious libertarian like you and I are, who has suddenly become a fanatic for Donald Trump. And I have argued it's Tweedledee and Tweedledum between Harris and Trump on the issues that matter: war and peace, debt, surveillance, scope of the government. They're both the same. There's no difference between them. And now our former friend, RFK Jr., the champion against vaccines, is going to endorse the vacciner in chief for election to the presidency. You can't make this up.
Now, we both supported him.
I know. We both know him. We both advised him.
Yep.
This is a profound disappointment.
And again, the reason we both pulled back on it is his pro-genocide Israel stance.
And refusal even to listen to us on it.
Yep.
He got angry with us when we attempted to present the view that you can't kill innocent people. That's a pretty basic viewpoint.
Yeah.
There's nothing esoteric about that.
On
the other hand, I don't know. He's going to deliver if he's going to deliver Trump a single vote.
Nah, people, he's gone. You mentioned about what the government does, but you left out one other thing.
What?
They steal our money in the name of taxes.
Correct.
Look at the money they steal from us, and you keep using the term government. It's not a government. That's like a BS line. It's a crime syndicate of low-life pieces of scum. A government? Little Chucky Schumer? Oh, you hear his speech about anti-Semitism or something? Anti-Semitism, you're slaughtering people all over Gaza, and when you come out against it, you don't have the balls, you don't have any, to call me an anti-Semite? How dare you? How dare you? Look at the clowns. This isn't a government. It's a freak show. And you're talking about who's running? Here's the cover of the magazine this week. All right?
Right. Very clever. That's, as I said, Tweedledee, Tweedledum.
Yep.
I had not seen the cover until now. Very, very clever.
Yep.
Very wonderfully done.
Yep. It's the Disney World White House. That's all it is. It's an act. It's a reality show.
Yes. Yes.
And what you're writing, and the people have to know, week after week you write this, and week after week it's how we lost our freedom and just being stolen from us. There's this place on the Hudson River. They turned it into a distillery and a very nice restaurant. It used to be a monastery. It's called the Hudson House Distillery. And there's this guy that's the bartender there. He's about 55, 60 years old. And he grew up in Poland.
Oh.
And he was telling me, he always talks to me about how they protested against the Soviet government and they wanted their freedom. And he got beaten up, thrown in jail. He was in jail for like 2 months. And he said to me, now as I look back, America has become the Poland that I left.
Ooh, that is scary and profound.
And here's what he said. He said, we fought against this. Why aren't the American people fighting against the loss of their freedom?
Mm. The Sam Adamses today are very few. Two of them are on this show right now, but they're very, very few. The government has cowed them, silenced them, and they go along to get along. Like my libertarian friend who's part of this, I guess it's called Libertarians for Trump. You know, there's a gaggle of conservative Republicans, whatever the heck that means today, who are endorsing Kamala Harris because they want the Republican Party to be crushed so it can be rebuilt in the image of Barry Goldwater. That might be a little fanciful,
Yeah.
but that's their argument.
Yeah, they're not going anywhere. Again, it's a crime syndicate. Look at the scum and charge in both sides. As I say, this guy, this little clown boy, that's the Republican majority leader in the House, Mike Johnson,
The Speaker of the House.
Speaker of the House.
Oh, he's reprehensible.
And
he actually is far worse than Kevin McCarthy, his predecessor, because Mike Johnson is a Christian nationalist who believes that he can use the power of the government to force a version of, forget about separation of church and state in his mind, to force a version of Christianity on the country, and who also believes, are you ready for this? God the Father promised the Zionists all that land from the river to the sea. Mike Johnson actually believes that.
Well, it's in the good book, chapter 6, section 8. I mean, don't you know how to read this stuff? Again, not, as I say, it's not what you believe in, what you wish, what you want. It's what is. And the what is on that other clown boy is that he's so anti-abortion. But kill anybody you want in any country that I believe you should kill.
Correct.
Don't kill them before they're born. Kill them after they're born.
Right.
And what Christ is he talking about?
I mean,
Christ is Mike totally Johnson. Opposed to this.
You're right. This is Mike Johnson and his gaggle. Yep. This is a person who will probably be the Speaker of the House or the minority leader of the Republicans under a President Trump or a President Harris, and will have a great say in what legislation they enact.
Again, in all due respect, it is not a government. It is a bunch of low-life pieces of scum telling us what to do. Yeah. People that can't get a job in the real world that suck off the public tit. A bunch of scum. Yeah, you write over here. In exercising our free wills, we employ rights. Rights are claims against the whole world. They don't require approval of a government or neighbors or colleagues. The same rights exist in everyone, no matter their place of birth, and each person exercises them as she or he sees fit. The government should only come into the picture when someone violates another's natural rights.
That's John Locke and Thomas Jefferson. That government is best which governs least. That is at least theoretically what we started out with. But of course, as you know, today we have the crime syndicate, local, regional, state, and federal, that steals our property and our money and our liberty. And it just gets worse and worse and worse. No matter who's elected president, taxes will go up and borrowing will increase. Donald Trump borrowed $7 trillion in 4 years in the White House. Yep. George W. borrowed $7 trillion in 8 years in the White House. I'm not saying one is worse than the other. I'm just saying these numbers are staggering.
And again, how do they get away with this crap? I mean, it's disgusting. And we, the people, pay for it. The country's rotting in front of our eyes. The roads are crap. The bridges are falling down. Homeless people drugged out everywhere. The country's rotting in front of our eyes. And these jerks are in charge over here. You go on also saying here that now back to the Fourth Amendment and privacy. In a famous dissent in 1928, which 2 generations later became the law of the land, the late Justice Louis Brandeis argued that government surveillance constitutes a search under the Fourth Amendment and thus, per the express language of the amendment, cannot be conducted by the government without a warrant issued by a judge. He famously called the right most valued by civilized persons and described it as the right to be left alone. Judge, you have no right to be left alone. I'm in charge. I'll tell you what to do. I'll look at everything you do, and you do what I tell you to do. I'm the government.
That's where we are today. That's where we are today. That's what they proved when they entered Ritter's house. The only thing they didn't show him was his bank book, but they probably had those records as well.
You know, I got to hand it to Scott Ritter, boy. This guy is a real man. He doesn't back down for anything.
Yeah.
And could you imagine what this poor guy's going through and his family? And he just keeps coming out. I won't stop. I won't stop. I'm fighting for peace and freedom and justice. He's a great guy, and he'll be here along with Judge Andrew Napolitano, Scott Ritter, Max Blumenthal, Anya Parampil, and others on September 28th up here in Kingston, New York, on the Four Corners of Freedom, John and Crown Street, where the seeds of democracy was sown. We're doing everything we can to bring it back. United we stand, divided we die. And as Samuel Adams says, it does not take a majority to prevail, but rather an irate, tireless minority keen on setting brush fires of freedom in the minds of men. And Judge Napolitano he's right on that with judging freedom. And go to Occupy Peace for more information. Go to Judging Freedom to help bring back our spirit. And by these shows that you have, Judge, the people you have on, we have Phil Giraldi coming up again, Colonel Douglas McGregor.
Both on this afternoon.
Yeah. So tune into the Judge. Judge, thanks for being here, and we'll see you next week.
You got it, Gerald. All the best, my man.
Bye-bye now.